It's frustrating. I had dinner yesterday with Denny and I kept on saying, so when Jessica rides the sandworm, and I keep on just dropping hints.
Well, I will help start a GoFundMe account if this thing becomes
Can
a
you?
problem, because it's just...
I will be the first one to give you money.
Yes, I'm Tara Hitchcock from Arizona. And I know, I feel like, how many Zooms do you have to do with an actress you admire to actually call them a good friend?
I mean, I do you know what I think with them? How are you, honey? We only have like 4 minutes.
I know, and it's what an amazing movie. When I asked you about it, gosh, less than a month ago, the first thing out of your mouth was, "Don't get me started." Don't get me started. It is off the charts, phenomenal. You are phenomenal. What are the odds you have already shot part 2 and you're just kind of making us sweat it out to wait for this thing to get greenlit and all that? Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say about that.
We can't. What's the expression? I think in Swedish sometimes, but water over our head, throw stones in glass houses, all of that jazz. You just don't know how things are going to be received, right? And I think Denny, it really shows the non-ego in him. It's very easy to want more and more and do everything. And I think he made a very clear plan when he took this role and to be the director of this film, he created it, but to decide to do it. Less is more. And we see, is there do you guys like it is the question,
Well, not only did I like it, I loved it. And it's such an investment anyway. So now I was so torn when I left the theater. I thought I have to see this, but I know that if it does get greenlit, it's several years of waiting. How is that? That's so strange to me. How is that for you as an actress? You're also busy. Me and
Javier on set, we were like, every time we looked into the camera, we did a scene, we were like, and cut, do not two. Are we just going? Should we just continue? It's what it is, isn't it? It's kind of a game of chance and lottery and love and whatever. You just have to deal with it. It's frustrating. I had dinner yesterday with Denny and I kept on saying, so when Jessica rides the sandworm, and I keep on just dropping hints.
Right.
What I want to do. He's like, have you read the book?
Well, I will help start a GoFundMe account if this thing becomes a problem, because I
will be the first one to give you money.
Okay, good. Your character, your performance in this, and the weight, everyone talks about obviously the weight that Paul has to deal with growing up with this legacy and this responsibility, but your character and the responsibility that comes with that. It's interesting. Oscar's character gives Paul lessons. You teach him some very different, incredible things. So I wanted to ask you, what is the best example that you are your mother's daughter? What did she impart to you specifically, your mom?
Oh, my mom. My mom is the most eccentric, exquisite, highly intelligent piece of work.
Yeah.
I think for her, it was always have fun, don't stop, enjoy. That was always the thing. It was just, my mum was never locked into one thought. It was constantly fluidity. You move one way, it doesn't work, you move another way. You shift. It's one life, unless you believe in reincarnation, but I live here and now. Go with it, have fun with it, do the best of it. And when you're old and you can't move, you can't run up and down the stairs, what you have is your imagination and you have your memories and what's left. So create that base for the investment of when you're there, Yeah,
love it. I know they just wrapped me, but quickly, the costume design in this, one of many things that are phenomenal, but let's be honest, you've got the best stuff in terms of what to wear, don't you think?
Do you know what I do? I do get the best stuff, but I have to say, Timothy's robe in the scene at the graveyard with his dad. Yeah. How cool is that? I want that.
You can pull that off at a premiere. You could pull that off at a premiere, even though I know he dressed a little differently. He could have pulled it off.
Oh, well, yeah, he does. Hydra Ackerman. Honey, I know Jacqueline or Jackie, the designer is. Did you ever speak to her?
No, I would have loved to too.
Everything was compared to a piece of art, a painting, the chains that I wore when I entered. I mean, don't get me started on the symbolism there.
Well, I just got a big message. That's your time. So
Whoa,
I am up.
we're done.
Next
I'm
time.
not going to talk anymore.
Okay, good. Well, listen, hopefully I'll see you in person one of these days. We'll just continue the convo. Congratulations. Jason, listen, first of all, I made you some ginger turmeric tea. I've got a green juice. I heard you were sick, and the only bummer is I'm nowhere near you, but just know I have been thinking about you, and thank you for even doing this.
But listen, a lot of everyone's giving me love, so it's healing me. But man, I've been sick in 2 years, and it fucking sucks. Thank you for doing this too. I didn't want to cancel anyone, so thank you.
Well, that's huge because 90% of the people, at least more, would have. So thanks for doing this. And you make up for the energy in your character in this movie. I just love your Duncan Idaho. He's fantastic. He's amazing. And one of the sweetest scenes is the big bear hug you give Timothy when he first sees you. Out of all your famous friends, who gives the best bear hugs?
Who gives the best bear hugs? Gosh. Brolin's a pretty good hugger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you are as well. One of the things that your character says, dreams make good stories. I'm curious, when was the last crazy dream you had, and do you remember it?
You know, Mama, it's one of the worst things that I just don't ever remember my dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm horrible like that. So many friends, they talk about the dream. I'm like, I remember nothing.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
Fear is a mind killer. Is there anything you're afraid of?
This movie, I was absolutely terrified doing those scenes with all those actors. That scene where Javier Bardem walks in, I was like absolutely terrified. The whole time, the one that has to deliver all the space jargon, and he walks in the room, and I'm just like, oh my God, don't mess this up. But the whole time, I feel like every movie I start, I get really, really, I think that's what drives me though. I like being scared, but it's definitely, I've never worked with that kind of level of actors before. So
are you able to step back? Again, I know you've done some great stuff, but some people are calling this your best work. How do you perceive it when you have a chance to step back? Do you feel like, listen, my dramatic stuff is getting really good, this is my best stuff? Like, where does it sit with you?
You know what? I feel like this movie is really, I don't look at it and go like, oh, there's Brolin, oh, there's Timothy, oh, there's, Oscar. And I think Denis did a great job of picking everyone perfectly for the characters, where you just go like, man, these are these characters. You can watch Star Wars, like those are it. I don't look at Harrison Ford, I'm like, that's Han Solo, that's Duncan Idaho. I really feel like when I watch this movie, I'm just immersed in the whole, like, it's his story. Dune is, so I don't know. I don't know if it's my best performance. I was just honored to be chosen to play that role. It's a lottery for me,
Well, you are outstanding in it. Denis talks about this book consuming him when he was 13 or 14 years old. It stayed with him. If we were to make a movie on the book that consumed you as a kid, what would that movie be?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to be making it the story that I've always wanted to tell. I'll be telling a year from now. Hopefully we'll be talking about it, but I'm going to shoot that right after Aquaman.
Can you give me a clue?
It'll be in Hawaii.
Was it James and the Giant Peach? That was a great one. Okay. I know.
Yell at me.
Listen, Jason, again, thank you. I know you're under the weather. It was nice of you to even send off a text to everybody letting us know, but you don't have to apologize. Aquaman is entitled to an under the weather day. Feel better, please.
Thank you, love. Cheers. Hello.
Take care. So I thought I took a long time getting ready, a few hours with makeup and all of that. It took you how many hours a day?
I spent 8 hours in the chair before we started shooting, and then 2 hours to take it off. Yeah.
Well, and I know you know that going in, but I am so curious. Tell me that the first time they did you all up, you grabbed your iPhone, took a selfie, and sent it to somebody. Did you do that at all?
Yeah, well, I sent to some of my sons and from my wife. I sent a couple of pictures. Yeah, but it's not like you come in and then they put it on and that's it. It's right. You work for a long time. You discuss how to do it and what you like and what you don't like. And for me, it was paramount that I had my face so I could express myself, Right. So you don't overdo it with too much prosthetics.
It is so incredible. You really are unrecognizable. Who in your family was most creeped out by what you sent them?
They have seen me in such strange things before, so I don't know.
You know, it's so interesting. Denis talks about how this book had him captivated when he was, 13, 14 years old. If they were to make a movie about the book that captivated you as a youngster and stayed with you all your life, what would that movie be?
I don't know. When I was, I think I was about 13, 14 years old when, which was my first adult book in a way, that my father put The Spy That Came In From the Cold by John le Carré in my hands. And it was my first experience of literature showing the sort of the darkness of life, the sadness of humanity and all that. And I never forgot it, And then I met John le Carré a couple of years ago. So I ran away and I got the first edition copy from the bookstore and had him sign it for me. And I'm usually not starstruck, but I was starstruck when I met him because that book meant so much to me as introduction, not only to advanced literature, but also to adulthood.
What a great story. That is so cool that you had a chance to get that. And I think it's great that you're starstruck because that's me too, with many people, not just one guy. So, including you. I know you've been asked about the fact, I honestly think I had a group of, my stepson had a group of guys over yesterday. One of them's getting ready to get married and more than half of them cannot wait for this film. They're big Dune fans, but I think only one of them realized this is only part one. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised to know they haven't greenlit. I'm hoping by the time this airs, part two. How weird is that for you to shoot this whole elaborate, incredible thing, not knowing if you get to continue?
To me, it doesn't really matter. I'm in this business not for the final product. I'm here to have fun on the set and enjoy my work, and I did that. It was wonderful working with Denis, and he sets a tone on the set that is playful, that is nobody's screaming, nobody's angry, nobody's nervous because you feel safe, So I work just for the joy of being on a set, basically. So then it's the studio's problem.
Well, I can't congratulate you enough. I know people have been calling this immersive. I would call it gorgeous. Even you, I thought, was gorgeous in this movie, despite the gelatinous look of you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I hope to meet in person one of these days. You stay safe.
I hope so
Stellan.
too.
Take care.
Take care.